Okay everyone, I'm doing this quick video now because I hope you like the prophecy update videos I've been doing. Now the first one I posted, I've had some comments. I posted it on some groups and I've had some comments about that one, so I just wanted to verify a few things because different people commenting on that post saying that the Whore of Babylon is supposed to be a church. So I had a look into the matter. I thought, okay, I'll investigate this, do a bit more research, and I actually replied to one man's comment, and we had a little conversation, and yeah, it's interesting because I came to the conclusion that Ishtar is definitely the Whore of Babylon. Historically she is, and also Nineveh, they worshipped her. She was the centre of religious worship, as I've said. But I considered this this church argument, and I concluded that she is the Whore of Babylon is the centre of religious worship, okay? And in society today, that is Hollywood, idolatry. This is idolatry, and they have spread to the whole world, okay? Yeah, they have the largest influence on society, Hollywood. There's no doubt about it. It is absolutely them, okay? So I went over how the Whore of Babylon could still be a church, and this is what I replied to the man. I said, yes, the Whore of Babylon is a centre of religious worship, and in society today, that is Hollywood, okay? So I thought, we're getting closer here. I thought, I'm getting closer, and then I suddenly remembered a vision I had a while ago, a couple of years ago, and it's in the book. It's in the book. But yeah, I had a vision. By vision I mean a vivid dream, the sort where you wake up and immediately you know its meaning, and I've not had that many since, but this one was important. I knew exactly what it meant, and it was basically a world famous Hollywood actor in a church, on stage, and it was Babel, basically. Babel, like Babel, like Babylon. The meaning of the word Babel, you know, Babel, and yeah, it was a performance, some kind of rap. It was some kind of rap, and it was her glorifying herself you know, just magnifying herself, and yeah, I immediately I could see that Hollywood were going to start to merge with the church, and we are going to start seeing world famous actors in Hollywood appearing in churches. And then it suddenly clicked. I thought, that's it. There's Ishtar representing. It represents idolatry. We have Hollywood infecting the entire world. All have drank from her cup of fornication, and now it's going to start to infiltrate the church, and that is the whore of Babylon as a church. There's no contradiction here. It's all the same thing. Okay, it's all the same thing. Idolatry. So yeah, I just wanted to verify that. But the thing is, every Christian I know still engages in this idolatry, and they don't think anything of it. You know, they'll watch the latest superhero movie, you know, false gods, and they'll have their favourite actors, they'll watch movies and so on, and still engage in this idolatry. I mean, even really devout and strict Christians will do this. It doesn't seem to faze them at all. They carry on anyway. And because of this, when the big actors appear in churches, instead of opposing it, the congregation, because they've seen them on TV, you know, they'll applaud it. Oh yeah, great, so and so's on stage. Oh yeah, did you see them? That was great, wasn't it? Look who's here, kind of thing. Yeah, look who's here. Look who's here. Oh dear, look what's happening. And because they don't know the prophecy, because they won't teach it in churches, they'll remain oblivious to this, and you know, not really know what's going on. And if anyone tries to teach them this, they'll just laugh at them. So yeah, it's worrying. But yeah, in my videos I say it's Ishtar, the idol, is the whore of Babylon. She has infected the entire world, you know, Columbia Pictures, idolatry, and now she's going to show up in the churches, and that's how I brought the two together. And yeah, it was a good conversation with this man, and yeah, I think we both came to an agreement in the end. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen, so beware. Beware of Hollywood churches, because they're coming. Okay. This third part of the prophecy update series I'm doing, I said I would go over Wormwood. Now, Wormwood is a star mentioned in Revelation 8, once again, and it follows the second trumpet sound of the angels. Okay, the first and second trumpets of the angels, I believe, is a volcanic eruption. The events following those, the global catastrophes will most likely be as a result of the volcanic eruption. And then we have the star named Wormwood, and it falls from heaven, burning like a lamp, falling on a third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. Now, what on earth does this mean? How can a star fall to the earth and land on all the fountains and waters? And this is what I have covered in my book. I have my own theory on that. Again, it can be explained scientifically, and I'm going to go over what the word wormwood means. The Greek translation of wormwood is bitterness. Okay? Wormwood was a drink, and it had a very bitter taste, and it would make people sick, whoever drank it. And it's used elsewhere in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and that's exactly what it did. That was wormwood, a bitter drink. And this star called Wormwood, what is it? What is it most likely to be? And how is it going to disperse among all of the waters, a third part of the waters, sorry. And that's what I'm going to go over now. Okay, I'll just read the two verses pertaining to the star named Wormwood. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, bitter, an acrid taste that would make people sick. It basically represents here a plague that's going to make men ill. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Okay. Those are the verses. I'm now going to go over Wormwood in my book. My theory on a star named Wormwood. Now, when a comet arrives, like Halley's comet, many others, they are made up of ice, and as they enter the atmosphere, this melts the ice, and you have the trail. Okay, you have this shooting star-like trail, and it's basically the ice breaking up and leaving this trail behind it. And the thing about comets is, because they are ice, they are, when they break up, they are liquid in form, okay? And this liquid can carry with it many organisms from other worlds, okay, from other regions of the universe. Any bacterial life can piggyback these comets, and they then enter our atmosphere, and that has in the past had devastating consequences on man. Harbinger of Plagues. That's what I've called it, Harbinger of Plagues. For the very reason I just mentioned. And what is very peculiar and interesting about the arrival of comets and the sighting of comets in the sky is, following that, we have plagues. And that can be, but also there are wars. Okay, the 1066 arrival of Halley's comet. Now we all know which war followed that arrival. Okay, the Battle of Hastings, 1066, a major battle there, and it was the same year Halley's comet could be seen clearly in the sky. And there are rumours of wars and so on, as the Bible says, but there are, you know, many wars occurring now, mainly in the Middle East, yeah, and at the same time, last year and earlier this year, we have had an outbreak of Ebola. And lo and behold, again, at the same time as the wars and the plagues, the Ebola outbreak, comets, a comet in the sky. Yeah, a very big comet known as Superstar. They call it the Superstar Comet, which is very interesting. And the plagues can be explained scientifically, as I said. Extremophiles, they are organisms that can withstand the extreme environments of outer space. They can piggyback comets, and as the ice of the comet breaks up, this then travels, it descends into our atmosphere, it arrives in our atmosphere, and then this can be spread to many parts of the world and touch upon a third part of the waters and the rivers, as is mentioned in Revelation 8. And I think that's exactly what's going on here. This star that arrives is a comet. It will bring with it plague that will wipe out a large percentage of the population, make man sick, again as is mentioned, and it will do this by dispersing across many waters, across the seas and the rivers. Okay. Carrying on then with Wormwood. Now, in the books of Enoch, I mentioned this briefly in the previous video, and I said I'll get to this. I found the name of one of the angels in, I think it's the Third Book of Enoch, right at the end where it lists all the angels. One of the names of the angels is Chernobog. Chernobog. Okay. And when we're talking about wormwood, many prophecy scholars have researched into the word wormwood, and apparently the Russian definition is Chernobyl. Wormwood means Chernobyl, the Russian translation. And we all know about Chernobyl, the nuclear disaster, the meltdown of that nuclear power plant. And what's very interesting is the name of this angel in the Third Book of Enoch, Chernobog. And we hear about angels being responsible for these worldwide catastrophes as punishments upon man. So I just wanted to include that because I find it interesting. Now, Chernobyl has already happened, and the Wormwood of Revelation occurs after the Big Bang of the Tribulation, which I believe is Yellowstone. So although Wormwood is the name of Chernobyl, prophecy scholars have looked into that, and again it would be classed as a plague. Okay, the nuclear fallout and the radiation as a plague on man. The wormwood in Revelation is a star falling from heaven, and it too will bring with it a plague. Okay, but I just wanted to add that in there about Chernobog. Chernobog is an angel mentioned in one of the books of Enoch, which is very interesting, and it doesn't stop there with the names of the angels and the names of some of these plagues, because I found another instance of it, a comet called Enki. Scientists, they chose to name this comet Enki, E-N-C-K-E. And if any of you know Zecharia Sitchin, he translated ancient Sumerian texts. Enki was an angel in ancient Sumeria. So they've named this comet after an angel again. It's very interesting, and in the Bible the angels are responsible for the plagues brought upon man. And they are also responsible for these mega disasters. In Enoch, the angels are actually celestial bodies in space, okay, planets. The angels are planets, and Enoch himself becomes the earth. God gives Enoch the earth, and he is the earth. And yeah, many other angels are the actual planets themselves. And when you look, this is corroborated in Revelation, where we have angels representing worldwide natural disasters. The angels are the natural disasters themselves taking place. The first trumpet sound of an angel being the eruption of a supervolcano. The second trumpet sound being all of the third part of the waters and the ships destroyed, and then the third trumpet sound of an angel being a celestial body, a comet or a star, as it says in Revelation, most likely a comet. These are the angels. So there we go, and I'm going to just go over some bullet points in the Wormwood Harbinger of Plagues subheading of the book, which explains how comets are related with the wars and plagues. So, yeah, there was one in 1519, an Aztec Emperor Montezuma in Mexico saw a comet in the sky. Later that year, millions were infected with a deadly plague that nearly wiped out all the native peoples of the Americas. Okay, so there's one example. In New England, 1680, another comet is sighted, and the Reverend Increase Mayfair delivers his prophetic sermon entitled Heaven's Alarm to the World. Clearly this guy made the link as well, the connection with comets and plagues, you know. And he warned the people of pestilence. Spanish Influenza pandemic of 1918. And this wasn't long ago, historically. 96 years ago. When did I write this? Well, it might be 97 now, since I wrote this. This shortly followed the arrival of the more widely known Halley's Comet. Spanish Influenza, Halley's Comet. And two researchers who were baffled by this global spread of this plague in such a short space of time, they thought, well, how else could it have affected the rest of the globe, travelled to the rest of the globe? And they concluded that this particular outbreak it infected a large percentage of the population by falling from the skies. Enki, all of life on the planet defining angel Enki from ancient Sumerian. This was the name of a comet. This preceded the H1N1 flu epidemic of 2007. And the Battle of Hastings, 1066 Halley's Comet sighting. There you go. Comets, plagues and wars. Third trumpet sound of the angels.